Hi everybody, this is Brian Koo with another ROK video. Today we are looking at an enemy fort drop. Will it succeed? Will it fail? Let's find out together. And let's talk about what are the key factors that determine whether a fort drop works or not. Because dropping a fort in an enemy zone is something that doesn't work that often, but is still worth doing because when it does work, it has the potential to change the entire course of a war. Right now, we're pushing back one of the two enemy kingdoms that can attack us through this level 6 pass. And while we're doing so, the other enemy camp is walking south, ignoring this fight. What are they doing? What's going on? And this brings us to the first key factor in a winning fort drop. The element of surprise. You want to start building your fort before the enemy notices anything's going on, and ideally you would have a 10 to 15 minute buffer before the enemy starts to really react to what's happening. And so you want to place the fort during enemy downtime. You want to send some rallies out that might look like they're city rallies. We picked up on this murder ball very quickly. We had a sense that this could be a fort drop. And at this point, even though the enemy is walking to the location, they haven't actually placed the fort yet. Even though they could have. Because our territory doesn't connect to this drop location. And their allies have disconnected some of our territory, which is the impetus for this drop. Zooming out here, we see the fort being placed. And this brings us to key factor number 2 in a successful fort drop, which is to maintain open field control at the pass you're using to get into the zone. We're rallying their pass, distracting them, and forcing 2056 to devote resources here at the pass. And then look what happens with this taxi rally that's headed to the drop location. It looks like there might be some infantry in the rally. I'm really not sure why it's moving so slowly, but you see that a bunch of our cav marches are able to pick that rally up and wear it down. At the same time, we've reconnected our territory and we're able to start building towards the fort. I would imagine the enemy thought they could keep that territory disconnected for longer. But if you don't have open control as you move through the pass, it's going to be very difficult to get more marches to the drop location. Which brings us to key factor number 3 for a fort drop, and that's taxi rallies. Because properly done taxi rallies with full cavalry should be able to outrun any individual march there are enough rally march speed bonuses that that's the case. But 2056 just was not able to run a lot of taxi rallies, because any archer or infantry rally would have gotten picked off by us at the pass. And as you saw, even some of their cavalry rallies struggled to get through. But they do have this murder ball at the fort. You can do a lot with a big murder ball, no matter where it is on the map, no matter how far from your cities you are. A powerful murder ball can do a lot. And there were certainly some things about the enemy fort drop that made sense. They did it when our flags were disconnected. They did it in a spot where we were not connected to that fort. We had to build a bunch of flags. They brought some of their murder ball over to block reinforcements into this flag, which is good. But by the same token, we have smart players like Mag there who teleported quickly and got in. The other thing that 2056 had in their favor was they had a second camp at this pass that could attempt to take control of the open field. And these, changing of the guard at the pass, these were well timed, and one of the best things the enemy did in this zone was they used these two camps to support each other to really pressure and wear down our open field. The two camps had different uptimes. 2056 uptime was sort of like 20 UTC to maybe 2 UTC, something like that. Sort of like European, American hours. And then as they started to wear down, 2258 would get online and show up in really good numbers. And this just made it difficult for us throughout this KvK to have open field control at this pass. We eventually flagged our way to their fort and began the final assault. Their murder ball just wasn't big enough at this point. They didn't do enough taxi rallies. On the screen around the fort, you can see that there are no barb forts that they would even be able to rally. You also see that there are no enemy cities near their fort. And that brings me to key factor number 4 in a successful fort drop, which is you need to random teleport several cities close to your drop location. What those cities can do is spawn multiple junior lohars that people can send rallies towards. Those are your taxis. And those nearby random teleports also form the core of your open field presence, where they're able to refresh marches. They can bring marches back about as easily as we're able to in our alliance territory nearby. But 2056 did not do random teleports into this zone. It was not a factor in this fight. And ultimately, there were just too many mistakes in execution for this fort drop to succeed. It wasn't a bad attempt, though. They had some things working for them. It was their uptime. They formed a very good ball. They picked a spot where we did not have flags connected. They picked a time when our territory was disconnected. But it just wasn't quite enough. There weren't enough marches here. And so even though we're really unorganized in the way we attack, we did eventually wear this ball down. We're playing a 2 versus 6 KvK here, and 2056 other alliance, they're a 2 alliance kingdom. Their other alliance was on the other side of the map, fighting against our allies. But what they could have done is had that other alliance teleport over, join VF56 here, and have their entire kingdom focus on this fort drop. That would have brought them a lot more players. And who knows, that combined with some random teleports, combined with more taxi rallies, more open field presence at the pass, and a bit more of an element of surprise, they might have gotten this fort down, and it would have been a huge win for them, and it would have likely meant that we lost this zone in a few days. As it turned out, though, we did suppress this fort drop, and what you're seeing now is that sweet, sweet cleanup moment where you know you're going to win the open field fight. The enemy's not able to get away, and it's like shooting fish in a barrel. Though I rarely click on portraits in this game, this is one of those times where I did click on portraits to pick my next target, because you're just trying to find the best head to take off. At this point, I start looking for the marches that have more health on them, because they might actually be alive by the time I walk over. On the right, in a resource tile, is Dag's Zenobia. That was probably their backup garrison, but because there were no cities nearby, that Xeno had nowhere to go. And this thing is all over but the shouting at this point. If you enjoyed this video, I would really appreciate it if you gave it a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I have plenty more videos for this Strife of the 8 KvK we're in. And we're also finishing up our current KvK as we speak. And I'm really excited for the content of that one as well. The reaction to my last video was super positive, lots of likes, lots of comments, and a big increase in my subscriber numbers. That sort of reaction is tremendous motivation. I tried to get this video out quicker than usual, even though we're in the middle of the KvK. And just really looking forward to a lot of great things to come. Rise of Kingdoms is in a good place as a game. There's, a few things we can complain about, but the PC client is a nice addition, and the game is actually pretty balanced right now. We're finishing up a Heroic Anthem KvK, the normal Heroic Anthem, and that remains a really good map. Here's the stats on that rally. 33% all damage on Yandu. Must be nice. And until next time, I will see you all on the flip side.